Nutritional myth debunking: eating more will make you put on weight. I'm a nutritionist and I'm a holistic nutritionist, so I've got a background in physiology as well as nutrition, and I like to look at the bigger picture of some of these common questions. What I would say first of all with this topic of weight gain, it can be a bit of a sensitive topic, so just a little trigger warning there. And if anyone feels they need more one-to-one guidance, please drop me a message and I can point you in the right direction. But really simplistically, will eating more make you put on weight? So the answer is, it's not that simple. And if someone had asked me this question, the first thing I would say is eating more of what? Whole foods, rich in lovely essential nutrients, magnesium, which is really beneficial for blood sugar regulation and insulin responses, chromium, which again is really lovely for blood sugar responses, how we get our energy from our food, how we use our energy, how we store our energy. Lovely satiating whole foods rich in proteins, fats, fibres, or eating more of poorer quality, more processed foods, more nutrient deplete foods, poorer quality refined carbs, or poorer quality fats. So it's not a case of just eating more, it's eating more of what? Eating foods with a good spectrum of fibre, lovely colourful whole foods, fruit, veg, whole grains, that directly feed your good gut bacteria and translate into a good spectrum, a good variety of good gut bacteria. Gut bacteria have a major influence on weight gain and body composition, so that's another thing to consider when we say eating more. Then eating more or eating some amount of anything, the effects of this will be very dependent on your energy output. So that is a massive variable factor between different people. So it's not to say that eating more is necessarily a good or bad thing. It depends on you as an individual. So you might be eating more because you are exerting more energy, you are building more muscle, which by the way is also going to be beneficial for your overall body composition. So we might be eating more to fuel more exercise or more activity that's contributing to us building muscle. Muscle or lean tissue is protective. It's protective in terms of our health, so disease risk factors, but also helps to actually increase our resting metabolic rate. So if we build more muscle, we'll actually be burning more calories just at rest, and the more energy we're putting out, the more we need to take in, and it's very individual. So we can match or consider our energy in versus our energy out, or tip the scales. Either way, depends on what we're wanting to achieve in terms of our body composition. Then in terms of I've talked about energy and kind of energy in, energy out, body composition, and that's around your macronutrients, your calories. But as a holistic nutritionist, I want to consider more than your macronutrients. I want to consider your micronutrients as well. These are all your essential nutrients which keep us well, both physically, mentally, and food in we should be considering this as well, not just about the simpler topic of energy. So if we're eating more, arguably there's more room for us to get more micronutrients in, whereas if we're eating less, there's arguably less opportunity to get these micronutrients in. And nowadays, in the modern world that we live in, we're arguably at a disadvantage anyway, because food naturally, generally, is more nutrient deplete than it was years ago. The soil itself in the ground is more nutrient deplete. This is where your supplements can come in as well. We're thinking energy in versus energy out. It's not, we don't just eat food to fuel ourselves in terms of energy. There's so many other factors, such as enjoyment and different behavioural and mental benefits of eating, but also the micronutrients need to be considered. And the less we eat, the less chance. Of course, it's a balance, because you'll use up micronutrients as a result of other stressors as well. So that's another point with the excess exercise, for example, and how we're fueling ourselves versus exercise. That exercise is a mild stressor. It's overall beneficial, but if we were doing too much exercise versus too little input and using up excess nutrients, then that could really throw the balance. So I hope that helps. There's a bigger picture always. So always, if you're asking yourself a question, think why or what are other factors here. And I'm always here to help. Please do comment, message me. If you've got other questions that you'd like answered, let me know and I will try and get around to them.